Hey guys, it's Kristen and Bethany, and today we're going to be talking to this girl about the wedding, honeymoon, and marriage.
As most of you know, I got married about 3.5 weeks ago, so this is my first vlog back since being married, since becoming Mrs. Beal. And we talked before in a few videos back about my thoughts leading up to the wedding, and now we're going to be talking about stuff now that I'm actually married.
So let's talk about your wedding first. I've been married and I know what it's like planning a wedding, and it can often be really stressful and sometimes just plain not fun. So as you
Overwhelming.
were leading up to the point of actually having your wedding, what did you do to plan and prepare for that?
Yeah. So it was a lot more work than I was expecting, and I didn't do a lot of things that were part of traditional weddings. I want it to be about the ceremony and what's actually happening and not necessarily about all the hype, but it's still a lot of work. So I enjoy planning, so I think that was a benefit to me, but delegating, recruiting every single sister that I possibly had and friend and asking them to get involved and help. And I think that's really what saved my bacon by having my family help. And then I was able to just totally enjoy the day because I knew my friends and my family, they had it.
For you, what were some of the highs and lows leading up to the wedding, the week of the wedding?
Yeah, I think the lows were the fact that there was still so much to do and that I was actually posting and scheduling a blog for Girl to Find the night before.
Because you scheduled all your stuff for while you were gone.
And packing for my honeymoon, all that stuff that I wished I would have gotten done sooner, but there was just no way. I just didn't. So that was kind of a low, you wish you could just be done. All done. The high, definitely the actual wedding day when I finally got to see Dave, because we had hardly seen each other the week before from being so busy. So actually getting to see him, and I would say all the parties, the bachelorette party that you hosted, which was just so clean and fun and amazing. Just all of the friend and family gatherings leading up to it, and then the ultimate celebration the day of was yes.
What would you say was your absolute favorite part of the wedding day?
Of the wedding day?
Maybe the wedding.
Of the wedding, yeah. Probably, it's just so surreal walking down the aisle and then standing up there with Dave. It's
was that moment different than you always imagined it? Or did it feel like what you'd always thought?
Yeah, no, it was different in the way, I didn't feel like I was I can't believe this. I was very much with it, and my brains were all very much there. So I was very much absorbing the moment. And I think that's what was so interesting, because it's I'm about to walk down the aisle. This is my wedding. How is this my wedding? I don't get married. I've never been married, So I think that was just absolutely amazing to be in that moment and to be experiencing it and just feeling this is crazy. I can't believe this is happening to me. Yeah.
Now let's talk about the honeymoon. A few questions. I know you guys have had a ton of questions for you beforehand. Are you nervous about your wedding night? And you actually wrote a post addressing that. So how did you, before you got married, mentally make that switch from not being intimate with Dave, not living with Dave, to now having all of those things?
Yeah. What's really interesting, you know this, but the two of us, wrote a book called Sex, Purity, and the Longings of a Girl's Heart. It was during the process of me being in a relationship and getting engaged. So I had the awesome privilege, really, of getting to study God's design for sex, purity, just all of that, our sexuality, dig into it and really study it, because we were writing a book about it. And that actually releases in April of 2019. But I think that was really helpful, because I was able to gain such a biblical perspective and really kind of debunk any false ideas that I had, sex is bad, or, it's gross or awkward. Instead, it's wow, this is God's amazing design, and intimacy within marriage is such a beautiful thing in the right context, And so I think that particularly just really studying and being intentional to prepare for that was probably the most helpful thing.
When it comes to honeymoon experiences, I think we hear a lot of mixed reviews from married couples. My honeymoon was awesome, or my honeymoon was terrible.
Yes.
So now that you have experienced a honeymoon, how was it for y'all?
Ooh, honeymoons. I actually loved our honeymoon, and I think that's because of the intentionality of getting advice, getting wisdom, and talking to a lot of different people beforehand, getting those mixed reviews, but then realizing we can do a lot with our mindsets and the choices that we make going into our honeymoon. So if I had the mindset this is gonna be the best of my life, he better make me completely happy, I probably would have been pretty disappointed.
Your expectations are 100%.
Because he's just human, I'm just human, and he can't satisfy me in a way that only God can. But I think because we went into it knowing only God can satisfy us, we were able to just enjoy the moment. We didn't have an expectation we want to accomplish this or do this or experience this. It was just wow, we just want to enjoy being together, learn about each other, and there's no pressure or expectation for either of us. And so I think because of that, we had an awesome time.
What would you say was your favorite part about the honeymoon?
Okay, this is gonna sound probably really stupid, but so we were actually in Denver, Colorado for a little while, and we decided to just like totally just have fun. And we actually went to a Denver Nuggets basketball game, an NBA basketball game. We got burgers and fries and like Cokes, and we sat there. We had really great.
It was spontaneous, right?
Totally spontaneous. We rode like those scooters that are all in the major cities.
Those.
We rode it all around town. Then we went to the game, and it was just like such a blast because we both love basketball, and so that was a like totally spontaneous, unplanned moment that we both honestly absolutely loved.
I'm honestly so glad that y'all had a blast on your honeymoon, and I'm really glad that you're back because it was lonely being here by myself.
Like a girl defined just pranking me.
Yes, like I was kind of lonely, but you're back and now you're married and you've been married for a couple of weeks. And so what do you think about being married?
You know, it's crazy because I always kind of imagined marriage that I would almost like turn into this different person. I'd be like, Bethany married.
You are Mrs. Beal.
I am Mrs. Beal.
That's a little different.
You keep commenting like, oh, you're like the same person, you know? And it's crazy because I think this is what it is. Dave and I are best friends, and we were best friends before we got married. And so it's not only are we best friends, but now we're husband and wife, and we're lovers, and we love each other and everything that goes in with that. But like, I'm the same person and he's the same person, and I just feel like we're becoming better versions of ourselves, you know? So I'm a sinner, he's a sinner, so it's not like I don't have selfish moments. I for sure do, and he does, and it's, you have to work through that. But if you're expecting to have a perfect marriage, it'd be a disappointment. But if you're expecting to have like, I get to work through this with him, then it's amazing. So far, 3.5 weeks in, we're doing pretty good.
What would you say are some challenges? We know everything's going really well, but are you facing any challenges as a newlywed?
Well, we actually faced some challenges on our way to our honeymoon because we got to the airport. They completely canceled our flight. We had to get back off our plane. They completely rerouted us. By the time we got to Colorado, where we were going, they had lost our bags, and we had to go 2 hours, drive 2 hours away to the place we were staying with not a single bag. I had my purse, and that's it. So you have all these expectations. So it was in that moment that you realize like, you're still human, you're still a sinner, you still have these sinful desires. And my natural tendency is I start getting frustrated at him. Like, okay, now it's the dark, I'm getting there late, I wanted to drive through the mountains in the light. And so I've noticed moments like that can trickle in, and I have to be so intentional to really like guard my thoughts, because my thoughts affect my emotions directly. And I've realized like, it's really hard, you know, because you're with this person all the time. They don't just like I leave and I'm like, bye, and I see you the next day. So if I'm mad at you, I can kind of like, okay, give it
have
a day,
a little break.
But it's like if Dave, I feel frustrated at him or he feels frustrated at me, you know, even at the end of the day, you're together and you have to work through it. And so there's no escaping conflict. And I think that is a challenge to really act Christ-like and be loving even in those moments when it can feel a little difficult.
Now that you're on the other side of marriage, if you could go back in time to that moment right before you got married, knowing what you know now, is there any specific advice you would give yourself before?
Back then, I think it's the word that I keep thinking of is intentionality, because it's like, it takes so much intentionality. Even now when you're married, it doesn't go away. So I think being intentional to really like love Dave with a Christ-like self-sacrificing, like no expectation of return, you know, just like I love you because that's how Christ loves me and I want to love you that way. Not like, I loved you, now you must give me this or whatever, you know? So I think if I could develop more of that self-sacrificing, just other-centered kind of love and really work on that more, I feel like that would only be the hugest gift and blessing to both Dave and I.
Thanks so much for giving us an update. We all are super glad you're back from your honeymoon. I had girls emailing me like, when is she getting back?
Hey.
Like, where's Bethany? We miss Bethany. And I was like, what about me? But no, I know y'all love me too. But they were really excited to have you back. So thanks for the little update. And if y'all want to check out the new book that you mentioned that's coming out, Sex, Purity, and the Longings of a Girl's Heart, it's not releasing for like over 6 or 7 months. But April of 2019, you can just stay tuned. We're going to link below a little thing where you can go and actually read about it.
Yes.
If you're curious, but we're going to be talking about it a lot more, but just a heads up, that's coming out. And then also, I know y'all are going to ask about the shirt because you've seen the Girl Defined shirt. So this is the Sisterhood shirt. And we are going to be we're going to actually put these for sale because we never sell them online. We are going to open up online sales just for Christmas, exclusively for like a 2-week window. So stay tuned. Keep an eye out on our Instagram page over at Girl Defined, and you'll see more details about that. But we are so excited for y'all to get our new book coming out next year and then to grab some merch this Christmas.
Thank y'all so much for watching today's video. If you liked it, give us a thumbs up. If you want to see more from us, you can subscribe to our channel below because we post new videos every Wednesday. And if you want to keep up with us on a more regular basis, head on over to our website, girldefined.com.
Okay.
Yeah, loosen up. Yeah. Back on the job, folks.
Hey guys, it's Kristen and Bethany. The wedding, it'll be like this. Bobblehead.
So don't bobble away because I'll be here.
Okay.
Who support us on a weekly, no, it's like, is it a weekly video? Oh, never mind, 3:20. This channel would not be possible without our amazing patrons who basically support us by donating
awesome!
$1, $2, $3, basically making this channel sustainable
Literally.
and alive. And so I just want to shout out a few of you: Sam O, Gabrielle, let's see here, Olivia, Heidi Wolfred, Victoria Hoverson, Sama Handy, Amanda Thompson, just a few of you who have decided to become supporters, teammates, patrons recently. So if you want to join us, link arms and say, yes, we like what you're doing. We want to support this channel. We want to see it keep going. We want to join the family. Click the link below and it'll take you exactly where you need to go. Join the family, join the Girl Defined Sisterhood, and keep this channel going.